And hopefully this will be like the last video of the day. But I felt like this was something that's been bubbling in the internets, and it's a video game related thing, and I've been debating about talking about it, but, you know, there's a lot to talk about. It's about Konami, basically, overall, just going crazy. First off, of course, there was the whole thing about, you know, Kojima looks like he's gonna leave, Silent Hills has been canceled. I was actually I had some interest in, I'm not a big Silent Hill fan, but Kojima doing a horror game with Guillermo del Toro really had me interested, but I didn't have, like, too much, like, stake in it, you know. I'd have to get a PS4, and I don't have a PS4. You know, unless they decide to release it for the Vita. Yeah, I got a Vita. Yeah. Anyway, so Konami canceled that. Looks like Kojima's leaving, and then somebody made a video that got DMCA'd in which they claimed that they had insider information from Konami about basically it being workers being treated poorly, the conflicts between Kojima and the CEO of Konami, and all these other things. And then, within less than a day, Konami backtracked and said, oh, wait, we're not going to DMCA this because they basically created the Streisand effect to occur by going like, we don't want people to see this. Well, then more people are going to know about it. So, additionally to that, Konami has come out to say, we're going to focus, basically, with the exception, really, of Metal Gear Solid, which we'll pretty much be doing from what sources pretty much seem to indicate, pretty much try and do like the Call of Duty model, which is just do, you know, just like really fast, like maybe every 2 years, a new Metal Gear Solid franchise-based game that's just barely different from the next or something. I don't know. They're going to be doing something with the franchise, and that's probably the only bit that they will be doing with console and PC gaming. Mainly what they are focusing on is mobile games, because it's pretty cheap to deal with mobile games. They're being idiots. Really, they are. They are looking so much in the short term instead of the long term by doing this. By just going like, we're just going to focus on mobile games. It's like, now I'm not... Unlike some people, I don't think going into mobile games is a completely bad idea for Konami. I think the bad idea comes in that that's the only thing they're going to do, with the exception of probably some Metal Gear games. Really, that's a dumb idea. Insanely dumb. I mean, there's a reason that even when Nintendo was like, okay, we'll start doing mobile shit. We'll start doing mobile shit, but A, we won't develop them ourselves. B, we'll get somebody who's been considered really having done some really good mobile games, and particularly mobile games for licenses, like for Square Enix and such. That's what, you know, DNA's the company that's going to be doing some of the Nintendo mobile games. They've done some really good stuff for Square Enix, from what I've heard. I haven't played any of their games. But I mean, when you got Total Biscuit saying, yeah, this is a good mobile game, I forgot which it was a particular Final Fantasy game that DNA did. And when Total Biscuit, of all people, praises a mobile game, it's probably pretty good. So that was a good decision on Nintendo's part, and that they were like, yeah, we're not going to completely get out of console gaming, which... Another reason that they wouldn't do that is because they make consoles. But, you know, it's all crazy. I think I'm about to bleep that, because I think it's one thing to say shit, and it's another thing, because I don't think I've said the F word before. Who cares? Anyway, so people are kind of freaking out. They're gonna boycott Konami, such as Alpha Omega Sin. I'm like, hey, here's the thing. I don't think that doing Metal Gear Solid without Kojima is a good idea, but who knows? There might be some good games via mobile. I'm not gonna go straight out and go buy some stuff, but I'm probably just gonna get reactions for various different, look at reactions from various different people, might actually buy stuff. You know, I'm not going to completely cut myself off from Konami, but I do think they are doing some really dumb shit. Whether it's doing the DMCA, whether it's like, we're going to go mobile, whether it's, there was a journalist who's, I don't know which country he's from, but I know he speaks Spanish, because the tweets were in Spanish, that had some inkling to do with, I believe, the situation with Kojima. And then Konami said, we want you to delete this, even though the dude is, it's not like he's a PR person or somebody who works for Konami. He's a game journalist. And they're like, you need to delete this tweet. And it's like, they're just going insane, man. They're going, like, completely insane. I mean, I thought Sega was kind of going off a little bit on the deep end by saying, we're just going to go to PC gaming. You know, which, to me, I'm like, okay, PC Master Race. The games, quality of the games by them just focusing on making for the PC are probably going to be better. Boo-hoo for me, I'm a console peasant. But when they're just going to focus and narrow down to one particular avenue, that does show possible problems at Sega. I would not be surprised if Sega ends up getting bought later on this year, next year, or in the near future. Konami is in a different situation because they have a whole list of stuff outside of gaming. That's probably their main problem. It's because they're so into, like, the pachinko business and making gambling machines with Contra themes and other various, probably Castlevania stuff, you know, they're themed to, you know, various different franchises, and that's basically what they're doing. They're like, we're just going to milk these franchises, we're going to make really cheaply made mobile games, we're going to make pachinko machines and all this stuff, because the games division of Konami isn't doing as well as all the rest of the other stuff they do, which is basically mainly based in Japan, which should tell you, like, how bad Konami's doing, when most of the stuff that's part of their business that is specifically solely based in Japan. I mean, they ain't selling pachinko machines in the United States, for crying out loud. When that's the case, there's obviously some problems going down, but they're probably not to the point where they would get bought by somebody else. Sega kind of looks to me like that is a very big potential, even possible that Nintendo might buy them up, or one of the other console manufacturers. I could see Sony picking them up, or Microsoft picking them up. I know a lot of people actually hope, oh no, I'm actually thinking people hoping Kojima goes to Sony. I actually hope Kojima does not go to Sony. I hope that either he goes independent. I mean, I would love, like, if Kojima would go to Nintendo, but I know that'd be a bad idea. I would not want Kojima to be dictated to be just stuck to one console. I believe that probably the best thing for Kojima is either to have his own independent studio that's not connected to anybody, or have it be part of a third-party company. Like, I don't know, maybe since Square Enix is, like, buying everything up and they've become one of the biggest third-party console and PC gaming, developing game place, probably Square Enix will probably be, they have the money, because to be like, hey, you want to do games that are even more expensive and will take even more time than the Metal Gear Solid games, you want to make them innovative and crazy and shit, I could see them, like, say, hey, here, but you better make sure you make a huge profit, otherwise we're going to think it's a bomb like Tomb Raider. The reboot, you know. Wow, I'm, like, all over the place here, and I've gone really long, especially in comparison to the other two videos I've done today. So I should probably just, like, kind of wrap this up. Like I said, I'm not going to boycott Konami. This is a whole mess. I felt I should talk about it in some way. I was leery because of the DMCA on the other guy's stuff, but then I also remembered he actually had game footage from Konami games. If they really try and DMCA this shit, I'm gonna be really mad. Because there's nothing. I'm just talking about them. But then again, Sega did something similar when there were people who were only talking about one of the Shining Force games a couple of years ago. So, Oh, and last thing, I've been mentioning Nintendo a lot, and I should have prefaced, again, I've mentioned this prior video, I have Nintendo stock, so keep that with a grain of salt whenever I talk about Nintendo. So that's pretty much, I think, all I have to say on the subject of Konami and various other gaming developers, console makers, blah blah. So I am Rob Webb, aka William Robert Webb III, aka Tetsuo the Great, aka Tetsuo Man, blah 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 blah. Have a pleasant day. End.